date, which I'll hit in at the beginning of our regular calendar. All righty. The procedure for tonight is we will start with public communications, during which any member of the public can address the board on items not agendized but within the purview of the Design Review Board. Excuse me, comments will be limited to 2 minutes. We will then address the consent calendar, which there is just one item. Then the board will address modification of the order of the agenda. And then we will proceed with the regular order of business, in which I will introduce an item, the address, the design review number, and other application numbers. Applicants will then take the seat at the front desk. Board members will do ex parte disclosures. Staff will then make a summary presentation with comments. At that time, the board will have an opportunity to ask any questions of staff. I will then open the public hearing. The applicant team will start with 5-minute presentation. Members of the public will have 3 minutes for comment, and that's per person. And then the applicant team will have 3 minutes for rebuttal. At that point, the board will have the opportunity to ask the applicant and any members of the public any questions. After the questioning, I will close the public hearing. The board will enter into deliberations and make a decision. All decisions must be made by motion, second, and then a unanimous vote of the board. After a decision, any person residing within 300 feet of the project who disagrees with the board's action will have 14 days to appeal. And that's appeal from a grant or a denial of an application. With that said, I'm going to first address, thank you. Roll call. Paula. And welcome. It's your first time.
Thank you. Board Member Belta?
Yes.
Board Member Kovney?
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Gannon?
Yes.
Chair Gibbs?
Yes. All righty. So the one modification that I'm going to propose, and without objection, is to move item 5.9, which is 934 Miramar Street, to follow 5.5, 337 Hawthorne Road. Any objection to that, board? Hearing none, that's the move. Any other modifications of the agenda? Seeing none, we will proceed first to the consent calendar. That is for the minutes of our December 12, 2024 meeting. I'll open it to public comment. Well, first, before we get to that, I must apologize. Public comment on a matter that's not on the agenda, but within the Design Review Board's purview. Anyone would like to speak can come up now. Seeing none, we'll go to the consent calendar. As I stated, it's the December 12, 2024 board minutes. And I open the public hearing. Anybody want to comment or make a comment on the minutes? Seeing none, we bring it back. Deliberations, or do we have a motion?
Chair, I'll make a motion to approve 4.1 with the minutes for December 12th and May 22nd.
Oh,
Second.
thank you. I didn't see the other one. Let me ask real quick, anybody want a public comment on the May 22nd, 2025 minutes? Seeing none, I think we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Board Member Belta?
I'd like to abstain from the December 12 meeting minutes. I was not in attendance, and I'd like to approve the May 22nd meeting minutes.
Got it. Board Member Kovney?
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Gannon?
Yes.
Chair Gibbs?
Yes. All righty. Now to the regular order of business with the modified agenda order. I am going to collectively call 5.1 through 5.5 and 5.9. And I will read them off, and then I'll open it to public comment. 5.1 is for 2550 Park Avenue, Design Review 25-0337. And the consideration is to continue the public hearing to August 14, 2025. 5.2 is 2058 Crestview Drive, Design Review 25-0431, Coastal Development Permit 25-0433, and Variance 25-0432, being continued to September 11, 2025. 5.3 is for 411 Holly Street. By the way, on this one, I'm going to disqualify myself, but I will announce it. That's okay. It's for 411 Holly Street, Design Review 25-0870, Revocable Encroachment Permit 25-0872, and Coastal Development Permit 25-0871, being continued to July 24, 2025. The next one is 5.4, which is 2155 Temple Hills Drive, Design Review 25-091, Coastal Development Permit 25-0912, and Revocable Encroachment Permit 25-0913, being continued to July 24, 2025. The next one is 5.5, which is 337 Hawthorne Road, Design Review 25-1110, Coastal Development Permit 25-1102, Revocable Encroachment Permit 25-1103, being continued to August 14, 2025. The last item for this batch is 5.9, 934 Miramar Street, Design Review 25-0256, being continued to July 24, 2025. As to those items that I just described, I'm opening the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak on any of those items? Go ahead. You come up to the podium, you have 3 minutes.
But only on the continuance.
Yeah, only
Not
to
about the
continue.
project. Okay.
So this is for 5.4. Sorry, it's my first time. Apologize.
Yeah.
I went to med school. I'm not good at.
You can
And-
only speak about the continuance.
And
though.
let,
Sure, it's 5.4, the 2155. So I have some concerns that I was gonna express. Would that be okay?
No,
yeah, well,
you can
Here-
only speak about the continuance.
yeah, the only matter before the board on this project, please listen to me. The only matter before the board on this project is whether to continue or not. Do you have any comment on that?
So
It's going to come up again. You'll have
Okay.
an
if
opportunity.
it's gonna
to
come
make-
again, then I'll go ahead and stand that. I'll watch everybody else to kind of go and see how they do it, and they'll do it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sounded like he thinks there's going to be opportunity to speak again tonight.
No, there's no, on item 5.4, once we vote to continue, it's not going to be, the merits are not going to be considered tonight. You understand that? Okay, any other members of the public wish to speak? With that, I close the public hearing. Any deliberations? Do I have a motion? I cannot vote on 5.3 or take part in the motion. Should we do all of them but that one? or-
No, Chair, it very much like Board Member Bauta did for the consent calendar. When we're not on the when we're not on the merits, it is fine for you to just register your recusal as to that. You can do it in one motion and it'll be noted in the minutes.
Okay, why don't I do the motion? I move that we continue items 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.4, 5.5, and 5.9 to the dates I described at the beginning of the consideration of those items. Do I have a second?
I second.
Call the roll, please.
Board Member Belta,
Yes.
Board Member Coveney,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Gannon,
Yes.
Chair Gibbs.
Yes to all except 5.3 on Holly.
And then just for the record, for which you are recused.
Yeah, I'm recused because I reside within 500 feet of that address. All righty, so let's go to 5.6. I'll call the item. It's 1286 Temple Terrace, Design Review 25-1078. Ex parte, please.
Chair, I had a site visit with the landscape architect, Jim Dockstader. Did I
MJ?
say that right?
And I went to the site and spoke to Jim.
I went to the site as well, and I spoke with Jim.
And I did the same.
So
Chair, if I could jump in real quick, just wanted to introduce the board to our planning technician, Isidoro Serna, affectionately known as Izzy around the office. He's been with us for about a year, and I believe this is his first presentation to the board, so we welcome him. Thank you.
Well, welcome, and I was going to expedite this, but since you get it, why don't you do your presentation? We'd all, and by the way, welcome aboard.
Well, thank you so much, board. Yeah, I can give an expedited review if needed. So it's ultimately up to you guys.
I'll tell you what, give a short expedited summary.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. Can you jump to slide 8? Thank you. So good evening, Chair Gibbs and members of the Design Review Board. My name is Isidoro Serna, and item 5.6 is a request for landscape modifications at 1286 Temple Terrace. The property is zoned as R1 and has a prior Design Review Board approval. The proposed modifications include a new soaking spa, retaining walls, grading, paving, planting, irrigation, and lighting.
Not working?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, it stopped sharing for a moment.
Welcome to your first day as well.
Thank you.
This always happens on the first one, but
No worries.
oh, there we go.
Gotcha. So staff has found that the project is in compliance with design review guidelines and the meeting and meets the findings.
Thank you much. Any questions of staff? Seeing none, open the public hearing and applicant, Mr. Dockstader, you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, Chairman Gibbs and board members. I'm James Dockstader, landscape architect on the project. I'm here with Samantha Bradshaw, the owner of the property, along with her husband, Brett, and kids. And first, I guess I'd like to thank Issy for shepherding us through to this point and thank the board for their interest and consideration tonight. That was a brief but effective summary. So we're available to answer questions and to participate in rebuttal if there's public comment.
Thank you very much. Any members of the public wish to speak on this project? Seeing none, I return it back to the applicant. You have 3 minutes. I assume you have nothing further?
I have one thing. I'll
ahead.
just mention that we met with our friendly neighbor who requested a few minor changes to 2 trees, and we submitted revised plans. Izzy has those, and those are ready to go.
Izzy, do you have those one-page revision, one plan?
Yeah, we have that on the presentation. Basically, the revision is to put a maximum height on one of the trees previously listed on the plans and to remove a tree as well.
Okay, I read them. I think the board read them. I just want to make sure you have that as part of the application. All right, any other comments? All righty, any questions of applicant?
No.
I close the public hearing. Deliberations. Who wishes to begin? Jess?
Yeah, I'll start. I can approve this project. It's, I remember when this came to us however many years ago. It's nice to see that it is where it is right now. Congratulations, you're almost there. You've almost reached the finish line. Yeah, it's a modest landscape plan. I believe it fits beautifully within that hillside and it doesn't negatively affect anyone's views. So I'm ready to approve this project.
MJ?
Yeah, I concur with that. And thank you for reaching out to the neighbors and just checking on those tree heights, because as we know, view equity is important here. I don't feel like anything egregious changes. They all look good. And even with your more than our normal height on some of the retaining walls, they're not obscuring anything and it seems lot specific. So I think you are good, and I look forward to seeing it complete because it's a beautiful house. I wish I had seen it in the presentation, but I'll have to just stop by.
Emer.
I concur with Jess and MJ. I think this project is ready to be approved tonight.
And I concur with my colleagues, and I always appreciate accommodations for neighbors. So with that said, do we have a motion?
Chair, I make a motion to approve 5.6 located at 1286 Temple Terrace as proposed in the staff report.
My second.
Call the roll.
Board Member Belta,
Yes.
Board Member Coveney,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Gannon,
Yes.
Chair Gibbs.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful project. And really great presentation. Awesome job there.
Few bumps in the road, but it's fine.
Okay, the next one is 5.7, which is 790 Manzanita Street, Design Review 25-0131, Revocable Encroachment Permit 24-2288. Ex partes, please.
Chair, I had a site visit with Keith Lee.
I also had a site visit with Keith Lee.
I had a site visit with Keith Lee as well.
Likewise. With that, I think I'd be fine with an expedited presentation.
Absolutely. Yes, please.
Okay, good evening.
Shavita Sawyer's expedited.
Members of the board, we have design review and revocable encroachment permit for 790 Manzanita Street. I think I just got booted off, so there won't be a presentation, but the project's located in the R1 zone. There is a 325 square foot addition, exterior remodel, relocation of pool and spa, landscaping, and then landscaping and hardscape improvements in the public right-of-way for which there is a revocable encroachment permit. Staff has analyzed the applicant's request with respect to the city's development standards and concluded that the project conforms to the zoning code, general plan policies, and design review guidelines. Staff recommends the board adopt resolution 25-0131 approving design review and revocable encroachment permit at 790 Manzanita Street and finding said action exempt from CEQA. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much. With that, I open the public hearing. Applicant, you have 5 minutes.
Greetings, board members. Nice to see you guys on site and to speak to you on the phone. And thank you, Shavetta, for all the work. This has been a long one since I think November of 22. We had a planner change and some historical stuff come up and different things happening through the process, but we're happy to be here tonight. I think this is a great opportunity to bring this dated home to new life. The owners are anxious to see it through and add another gem to the neighborhood. There's been many, I've met with many neighbors, basically all support. A neighbor on La Vista had some concerns about a tree, and the neighbors downhill had a privacy issue, which we mitigated by an architectural solution with a 4'6" pony wall to partially screen them viewing us and us viewing them. Along with hedges, we mitigated all his concerns, along with moving a pool equipment to the other side of the garage. So I think it's a modest additions. I think we kept it one story and in the cottage flavor, and I'm really happy with the design and the way it came out. Would you like to add anything? This is Jennifer Ogden, one of the homeowners.
We're just looking forward to renovating this one-story home and to making it a gem in the neighborhood.
All right, thank you. Any member of the public wish to speak on this? You can come up now. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Jana Anderson, and I live at 822 La Vista Drive. First, I want to say I'm very supportive of the redesign of the house. I appreciate they're not adding a second level and that they're maintaining the cottage style. Sorry, I ran. My only concern is that the prior owner did not maintain their landscaping, and the current landscaping plan we reviewed retains the existing trees and shrubs which need to be trimmed and laced. We're asking for restrictions on the height of the trees to be 15 feet from the base, and any higher blocks are viewed from our first level. And we're asking that they follow existing hedge law heights for any vegetation that is along the La Vista Drive. We're looking forward to the remodel, and most importantly, we're looking forward to having them as our neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other members of the public? Seeing none, you have 3-minute reply. Applicant.
I think the trees that she might be referring to are outside of our property line. They're in the REP zone, and so we're happy to trim those and maintain those. I think a 15-foot height is more than generous for us because our finished floors and our finished surfaces are set down even further, so that would be enough for us. If
Okay.
that's a condition that needs to be written into it.
Okay, any other comments?
That's it.
All right, I have a quick
Mayor,
question for
can I-
Patrick. Can we put a height limitation on a tree within an E REP?
Yeah, so typically it's governed by what's in the REP. So I'm not really sure there.
We're issuing a revocable encroachment permit on this project. Can we
Perfect.
make that as a
Yes,
condition?
then if the REP contemplates the area where this tree is located, then yes, Chair, you're allowed to set that height.
Yeah, I
limit.
believe Keith, correct me if I'm wrong, the REP is in the area of those trees.
Correct. All those trees are existing and outside of the property line, and that's where we're pulling that fence down for fire access along the vista. But we don't have any proposed landscape there.
Yeah, it's kind of a win-win, so if you don't mind, I'd like to put in that as a condition.
Chair, may I ask one more question of Mr. Donegan, unless you have a response?
Oh, no, the one thing that I would add, once again, I don't believe they are, but if there's some other, if they're like a protected tree or something like that, so if I may, Chair, unless otherwise prohibited by law. I want to make sure that the DRB is not imposing a condition that may violate something that I'm not seeing right now.
Can you just clarify for me that revocable permits, that area is always to be maintained by the homeowner, or is that city maintained?
Typically, once again, typically through the REP, it is maintained by the adjacent property owner. So I can't speak authoritatively for every single REP
Okay, I just
area in
didn't
the
want to
city.
put the
but
burden
yes.
on them.
Yeah,
if they are
typically,
city.
yes, moving forward, recently, yes. that
Okay,
is what it is.
great.
Yeah, with respect to the things that they install under a revocable and encroachment permit, they're required to maintain those. Okay, any other questions? All right, I close the public hearing. And let me just do it real quick since I kind of wanted to throw in that condition. I know Manzanita Street. I have friends there. It's a wonderful street, and I really appreciate what you're doing. Not doing the 2 stories is a big deal. It needs updating. It's a highly unusual lot. I did not even know it was there. And you have a great architect because he designed something that really works within that space. So, the bottom line is very modest addition, but it's going to be really effective on that property, has no impact on the neighbors with the condition of the trees that we're going to do, hopefully. I think it meets all guidelines, the REP. We can easily make the findings. It's totally appropriate REP for this piece of property. So with that, I can approve the project with the tree height condition. Yes, you look like you're ready.
I'll be short and sweet. I'll just echo what Chair Gibbs had to say. This is an absolutely beautiful project. That's all I have to say. It'll fit beautifully in that neighborhood. And thanks again for not doing a pop-up second story and being kind to the neighbors and beautifying that neighborhood.
MJ?
I just want to thank you, first of all, for putting up with the length of time it's taken for you to get here. That's unfortunate, and I appreciate your patience. I want to thank you for reaching out to neighbors. I think that was a brilliant thing to do and trying to find solutions. The quality of the design, the quality of the landscape choices, the way you're doing your pool, your fencing, the way you've respected the originality of the piece is impressive, and it shows that you will maintain your home and your landscaping if you've taken that much pride in your development of this. So thank you for that, and good luck.
Emir?
I concur with our fellow board members. This project can be approved tonight.
All right. Do we have a motion? Emir, you want to take a shot?
Yeah, I'll take a shot.
Here, go to the front page. So, and
There we go. Chair, I'd like to make a motion approving design review 25-0131 and revocable encroachment permit 24-2288 to construct an addition to an existing single-family residence located at 790 Manzanita Street, staff item number 5.7, with the condition of maintaining the trees in the revocable encroachment permit to a 15-foot height, contingent on there not being any other legal requirements associated with trimming those trees.
And I would add to the motion that we adopt resolution 25-0131. That's acceptable, Emer?
Yes.
Then I second. Let's call the roll, please.
Board Member Belta,
Yes.
Board Member Coveney,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Gannon,
Yes.
Chair Gibbs.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you, Tom.
I'll drive by when it's all done. All right. The next one is 5.8, 1005 Coast View Drive. Design review 25-0869, coastal development permit 25-0933. Ex parte, please.
Corresponded with Warren and went by the project.
MJ ex parte.
No, she just said, I had a site visit with Warren Hutcherson and Sadie here.
I did a site visit with Warren as well.
And I did a site visit with Sadie and Warren. With that, who's doing the staff report? Oh, you are, Sarah. Great.
Okay, good evening, Chair and board members. Item 5.8 is request for design review and a coastal development permit for 1005 Coastview Drive. The project site is located in the R1 zone and is developed with a single-family residence with elevated decks and 2 single-car garages. The proposed project consists of an upper level, 149 square foot upper level addition that you can see in blue, an upper level deck addition that's 88 square feet in red, and a lower level attached ADU that will be 353.9 square feet, and that's in green. A coastal development permit is required for the attached ADU, but it is exempt from design review. These existing and proposed elevations demonstrate that the upper level addition will be in line with the existing upper level and that the proposed ADU will be tucked under the existing single car garage. And also that the deck addition will be in line with the existing upper level deck. In conclusion, staff believes that the project is in compliance with the design review guidelines and compliance with all Laguna Beach Municipal Code development standards, and that the project does not substantively impair views, privacy, and will be compatible with the development present in the neighborhood. And staff recommends that the board conduct a public hearing and adopt the attached resolution approving design review and the coastal development permit and finding said action exempt from CEQA.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Any questions of staff? Seeing none, Warren, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much, and thanks for all the work you did all the way through this project. I have nothing to say. My colleague might have something to say. Do you have anything to say? No, she's good too. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Any members of the public wish to speak? Seeing none, Sadie, you have 3 minutes, sorry. Go ahead. Anything more?
I'll speak for her. Does anyone have any dog biscuits?
I have some trees.
You know, you gotta do that, Sarah.
We can address the dog.
We're gonna do that at a break.
later. Yeah.
So let's see if we can get on with this. Any
thank you.
questions of Mr. Hutch?
I have a question just because I'm still learning all the details on stuff. Sarah triggered thought. Well,
It's not
I
like,
guess
A little
that's
better
the
late than
answer.
never.
Existing garage, you're staying in line with the existing garage, but isn't that extended into the setback?
why don't we take a 10-second break? Sarah, you better give him the bone. He saw it.
Yeah, we don't follow
Her,
normal protocol.
Thank you, Sarah.
All right, back to
Thank you,
MJ's
Tom.
question.
I know she did, and thank you for that as well.
So that was my question, and maybe it's for Sarah, I don't know, but I know you said the existing garage, is the existing garage is in the setback?
The existing,
Garage that this is being built under, and the deck is being
so
extended
you're
at?
talking about you're asking about the ADU or because the only thing that's associated with the garage is
The
the
ADU,
ADU, which is underneath it, fully within the conforming
within the
setback.
requirements for ADU
Correct.
setback, is that correct? And no other building elements are in the setback?
No, the garage is existing non-conforming to the setback.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Any other questions? With that, I close the public hearing, and Emir, you want to go first?
Thank you,
We
Chair.
had you go last time.
Yeah, I like this design. Great job by Warren to tuck it into the building envelope. I think that's usually a big challenge in town, and Warren, you seem to get it, so we appreciate that. I think I can improve this project tonight.
He doesn't always get it.
How long ago?
You
But
gotta put
tonight-
the envelope
I'm-
every once.
But tonight you got it.
Don't press me on batting average. Go-
Yes, I agree with Board Member Emer Balta. This project is definitely approvable tonight. I concur with staff's, Sarah, I know you do too. I concur with staff's findings of the design review criteria, and I can approve the coastal development permit for the ADU as well.
Thank you.
MJ?
Yeah, and I concur
makes
with my
sense.
colleagues here. It's a modest renovation here or addition. And it doesn't affect anyone's view that I can see. It doesn't, I thought the ADU might, that's why I'd asked if you had staked it, but it didn't really require that, I guess. So yeah, I can support the project.
Thank you.
And I concur with my colleagues. Do we have a motion?
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve agenda item 5.8, address 1005 Coast View Drive, to adopt resolution 25-0869, attachment 1 approving DR 25-0869 and coastal development permit 25-0933 for approval,
And finding said action exempt from CEQA? Do
and finding said action exempt from CEQA.
we have a second on that?
I second that.
Please call the roll.
Board Member Belta,
Yes.
Board Member Coveney,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Gannon,
Yes.
Chair Gibbs.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you all very much. Have a nice evening and weekend. Sarah, thank you for everything, including
the
the
easy-
dog biscuits.
All right.
That was
awesome.
easy, yes. Thank you.
You were lucky tonight. All right. The next item is 510, item 5.10, 31411 Monterey Street Design Review 25-1010 Coastal Development Permit 25-1011. While the applicant comes up, let's do ex parte.
Correspondent with Jim went by the project.
And I drove to the site.
I drove to the site and spoke with the applicant.
And I met with Nicholas Sines and Dean Skinner with Conrad's office and toured the site. With that, please do the presentation. Now, this one I think we need because it's a little bit more involved.
Good evening, board members. Item number 5.10 is
Actually, I take that back. I had this confused with the next one. Why don't we, I think an expedited presentation is appropriate. Everyone agree? Go ahead.
All right, good evening, board members. Item 5.10 is design review 25-1010 and coastal development permit 25-1011. Request for an upper level addition to an existing single-family dwelling, along with an expansion of an existing elevated deck. An attached ADU is also proposed, which is not subject to design review, but requires a coastal development permit. Next slide, please. The subject property is currently improved with an existing single-family dwelling with an attached one-car garage, and the site includes no known constraints. Next slide, please. The proposed improvements, as illustrated in the image, are situated on the rear southwest-facing side of the residence. Next slide, please. At the upper level, the applicant proposes to remove an interior wall shown in yellow to expand the garage and provide 2 covered parking spaces, thereby meeting the parking requirements for the residents. Next slide, please. At the main level, the applicant proposes a 384 square foot addition shown in purple, the existing elevated deck shown in beige, which is proposed to be reconfigured, resulting in a net deck expansion of 12 square feet shown in yellow. Next slide, please. The proposed 370 square foot lower level addition includes a bedroom with an ensuite bathroom and walk-in closet opening onto a new 357 square foot deck. As noted in the staff report, the ADU is not subject to design review. Next slide, please. The proposed additions and decks remain within the allowable building envelope and follow the terrace configuration. Next slide, please. The existing top of ridge heights are maintained. Next slide, please. The proposed colors and materials introduce a contemporary update while remaining consistent with the home's original architectural style. Next slide, please. The proposal includes a request to modify the lot coverage requirement. As detailed in the staff report, the proposed rear additions are modest in scale and consistent with the surrounding development. Next slide, please. The proposed project complies with all other applicable zoning standards, design review criteria, and the general plan. The proposed ADU also meets the required coastal development permit findings. Next slide, please. Staff recommends that the board conduct a public hearing and by motion adopt Resolution 25-1010, approving design review 25-1010 and coastal development permit 25-1011, and findings that action exempt from CEQA. Staff have not received any public correspondence regarding the project. This concludes staff's report, and I'm available for questions. Thank you.
Great, appreciate it. Excellent presentation. Any questions of staff? Seeing none, I open the public hearing. Applicant, you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, Chair and members of the board. We want to be respectful with your time, so thank you for the presentation. It was very clear, so unless there's any question, we're here to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Any members of the public wish to speak on this project? Seeing none, I return to you. You have 3 minutes more if you want. Nope.
Nope, thank you very much.
Okay, any questions of applicant? Seeing none?
I have one quick.
Go ahead.
Did you reach out to the neighbors to the south?
We did reach out to one of the neighbors.
On the south.
Yeah.
Outside? And any issue with
The left
privacy?
side is your, yeah,
The
so
one with the lavender trim?
Yeah.
on there.
I think
House.
it's-
I'm sorry. They requested that we only take it out to a certain point, that addition on the left side of the house, the south side of the house. So we have kept it back beyond the edge of the corner of their house. And shouldn't have struck their view. It won't obstruct their view at all.
Okay.
We had the stakes up, so you could see the flags and everything yesterday.
But you actually spoke to them?
I did not personally, but the owner and Mr. Conrad did.
Oh, I thought you were the owner. You're not the
No.
owner. Okay.
No, I'm with James Conrad Architects.
Oh, okay.
He showed me that on site, and I walked through that. So we can talk on deliberations, but that was looked at. Yeah. All right, any other questions? Okay, so we'll close the public hearing and deliberations. Who would like to begin? I'll begin. Yeah, I appreciate the walk you guys gave me through the project. Because of the location, I wanted to kind of visualize if there were any problems. I think it was important, the fact that there were no neighbor complaints or no objections to it that we've received. And I satisfied myself both on that side and on the other side. I think it's a modest project, a 384 square feet upper level addition, 370 lower level addition, and then elevated decks of about 357 square feet. Totally appropriate, totally consistent with the neighborhood, and ideal for that location and the ocean views that are going to be collected with this, I think, excellent redesign. The one issue I had that I talked to you about was the glazing. There's a lot of glazing on the ocean side, and I think more glazing than what the current house has. That being said, I did drive down the street. There's a lot of glazing along that hill. And I think it's, we sometimes have concern with that much, but I think that is not a concern in this project because one, the one side of the glazing, I think it's sliding doors, is recessed. It's not a flat edge of glass. Secondly, neighbor compatibility. There's lots of houses with a equal number of glazing. And third, most importantly, it overlooks PCH. I don't think it's going to be a distraction to neighbors. So I'm fine with the glazing of the house. I think the architecture is consistent with the neighborhood and a great job. I think the site coverage going to 4D 2.5% is a modest increase and totally appropriate, and that the board can make the findings to justify that. The coastal development permit, it's a rather large ADU. It's 850 square feet, but it's on the first level. It doesn't have any visual impact. So the criteria 6 finding can be made that it is visually compatible with the neighborhood. In fact, the house itself is visually compatible with the neighborhood, and the ADU doesn't modify that in any way. And as I also understand, you're adding 1 parking space for the ADU?
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, it's not for the ADU because I believe the ADU does not require parking because of the proximity.
Oh, I
to-
read in the staff report it was
That was
associated.
incorrect, yeah.
Okay, but you're adding
We're adding a second garage space. We're widening up, like the picture showed, the garage door.
Okay.
To a 16-foot door rather than just a single car.
Monterey needs all.
Removing the storage and just having a 2-car garage.
And the reason I noted that is because that is an improvement. Monterey is in need of parking. So for all those reasons, I can approve the project and make all the finding necessary.
And I'll follow that up. I concur with board member or chair, what's your name? Bob.
Gibbs.
No, in the early start, when he first came on the board, I kept calling him Bob. Chair Gibbs, for the coastal development permit for the ADU, it has 0 impacts on the community visually. Yeah, and for all of the design review criteria, I support Khan, is that how you, Mr. Khan's take on all the design review criteria? It's neighborhood compatible. There's no privacy issues that I've seen, and Chair Gibbs concurred on that, and he got to see that firsthand. So that's good by me. So I can approve this project tonight.
All right, MJ?
Okay, I concur with my colleagues. I think I'm not always keen on giving lot coverage expansions like this, especially if you're dipping into setbacks. I look at it from lot to lot perspective and not to try to avoid setting precedent on that kind of thing, because people will take big advantage of it. I think in this case you haven't. I think it's fine for this particular lot. I think that the ADU, the respect to keep, it's large as Chair pointed out, but it's where it's placed doesn't seem to be impeding. Many people are also doing ADUs that are impeding people's views and privacy, and that's always concerning. So I appreciate your choice there. I was hoping you were the homeowner because this is my neighborhood, and I was going to just give you a few points about where the truck should be, but I'll knock on their door.
All right, Emir?
I concur with my colleagues here tonight, and I think this project's ready for approval.
All right.
Chair, I make a motion to approve agenda item 5.10, located at 31411 Monterey Street, as proposed resolution in the staff report.
I'll second. Please call the roll.
Board Member Belta,
Yes.
Board Member Coveney,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Gannon,
Yes.
Chair Gibbs.
Yes. Congratulations. We're on a roll here. We've been unanimous. I know we've had some tough projects, but we've gotten through them.
It's easy. I'd like to thank you guys for your time, guys and gals, on behalf of James Conrad and ourselves and our clients. And thanks Sharyar for all of his hard work on this. It's been a process.
Great. I'm glad
Thank you.
glad
Thank
you
you
got
very much.
through design review. All right. Our next project, just plugging right ahead here, is 5.11, 945 Rembrandt Drive, design review 25-0614, coastal development permit 25-0615, revocable encroachment permit 25-0616. Ex parte, please.
Chair, I met with the applicant team.
Met with Douglas Mansfield and I believe Steve Kawartani.
I spoke with Steve Coratani and went by the property.
I met with Mr. Mansfield and with Mr. Cortani. And with that, Daniel, please give the presentation.
Thank you, Chair. Item 511 is for a project at 945 Rembrandt Drive. It requires design review, a coastal development permit, and a revocable encroachment permit. It's located between through lot, downsloping with Van Dyke at the top and Rembrandt at the bottom. There's an existing single-family home there that will be demoed as part of this project. And the project is a new single-family home with a pool and spa, elevated decks, hardscaping, landscaping, retaining walls, and associated grading, as well as an on-street parking space. The garage will, or vehicle access will now be from Van Dyke Drive at the top, whereas existing vehicle access is from Rembrandt. And it also involves a revocable encroachment permit for improvements between the existing line of pavement and the improvements on the property. And I want to talk about the public parking space and how staff is not recommending the parking space to be proposed for this project due to safety concerns. The travel lane requirement is 10 feet for each travel lane, so a total of 20 feet. There's an existing public parking space on the other side of the street. And just having a public parking space in this location will result in approximately 10 feet of travel lane, which will not allow for emergency vehicles to traverse this area easily. So, but with that said, the project otherwise complies with the design review guidelines, the Laguna Beach Municipal Code, and does not result in views, privacy, and is compatible with the neighborhood. And we are recommending approval.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Appreciate it. A great presentation. Any questions?
I have a question only because I don't know all the rules. Why would we mandate a parking space there? What was is it the size of the house or the?
So typically, what the code says is when you have a property with more than 50 feet of frontage, you would propose a public parking space. And in this case, there's more than 50 feet of frontage on Rembrandt. And so that would trigger a public parking space requirement. However, it is up to the board as to the location of that parking space. And so.
Okay, then my other question, just because I
Real
love
quick,
asking.
I understand that we can essentially waive that requirement.
I understand. I'm just wondering if, do we ever consider looking at them adding a parking space to their existing home, especially if they have that much frontage, in order to provide an additional space for, your housekeeper, your gardener, your Amazon guy?
Yeah, so right now the project proposes a 2-car garage, and then there's a driveway leading to that 2-car garage on Van Dyke. So 2 cars could be parking in the driveway. However, those aren't part of the required parking spaces, but it would allow for guests to park up there on Van Dyke.
One more question.
You understand the parking's being moved up to Van?
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that you have the lower area. Are they looking for an REP down below?
Yes, there's approximately 1 foot of REP area, which is just flagstone pavers for the most part. Yeah, I'll have to go back and kind of see.
I guess for me, and this is just,
part of it.
yeah, that's why I'm just wondering why we couldn't have gone in on there and created a off-street parking space below.
Yeah, we'll get to that in deliberation.
Yeah, that's open to
The
deliberation.
reason is it's not wide enough to allow emergency vehicles through.
No, getting onto where they have. Not being on the street, being off the street on property.
Well, when we get to the applicant, why don't you ask the applicant? I think
Okay.
they have a good
I'll save it for
explanation.
the applicant.
Okay, any other questions real quick? All right, applicant, I open the public hearing. Applicant, you have 5 minutes.
All right, can you hear me? Chair Gibbs and board, thank you for having us tonight.
Move it closer. Is the light on? Yeah.
I'm Doug Mansfield, the architect and the applicant. I have Steve Carrionis here with me. He's the owner. He's currently living in Houston, so he wants to get back to Laguna as soon as possible. And we have Dan Reitz is Steve's best friend. He's kind of been our local rep in the area, and while Steve's out of town. And then we also have Steve Kay on our team as well. I just want to thank Daniel and Nancy for all their guidance and support along the way and getting us to this point. And also thank you for the report, Daniel, and kind of understanding the parking situation and the board members that came out and looked at it. And with that, we look for your support tonight and ready to answer any questions for you.
All right. Any members of the public wish to speak on this project? Seeing none, you have 3 minutes. Do you wish to use it?
No, thank you.
Well, the first question, which MJ raised, but let me focus because you and I talked about it at length and I studied it, and maybe Emir, you studied because you came right after me. That's how I figured you were going to be here. So the question is, that street, Monterey, needs parking. Rembrandt needs parking. And if there's a way to fit a space in that along Rembrandt, that would be ideal. You went through with me why it was not feasible, and you're bringing a lot of parking up to Van Dyke. So why don't you, since MJ raised it, why don't you explain it to the board what you explained to me?
Okay, yeah, we have several challenges. The main challenge is the topography in that area. We've got, you stood there, it's probably, 10 feet within 3 feet back. And we're going to lay that back a bit. But if we put the parking stall on our on our property, we end up having to introduce an 8 to 10 foot high retaining wall along the street. And it eats up all of our landscape area. That's kind of a really nice corner of the property that we can have some nice trees and planting. And so that's, kind of why we looked at it with Nancy in the beginning. We looked at parking on the street. There's a couple of locations that we looked at, but they ultimately ended up being not feasible. So we proposed it. We went back and forth with staff. They said, if we provide 10 feet of drive aisle, and then our 10-foot parking, that's what set back our wall is about 8 inches back on our property. And then I put a 18-inch wide planter area, which is the REP question. So if we weren't required to have the parking, we wouldn't necessarily need the REP down there either. We could probably abandon that on Rembrandt.
MJ, do you have any other questions about that? Any other
No, I don't
questions
think so.
of applicant? I don't mean to cut you off. Okay, no further questions. I close the public hearing. Who would like to begin? I took the last one. I'm always happy to take it. Let me I'll do it. And just because I like going first, and also don't want to monopolize, but I love this project. And so let me hit the parking first. The big thing that struck me that doesn't work with trying to put a parking spot there, even 12 feet's not wide enough. It really needs to have a breadth there. So the only way it would work, I think, is to put the parking space totally, essentially at the edge of the REP on your property, which is going to have a huge retaining wall. It's going to be unsightly. I'll bet you get a bunch of neighbors complaining about that. I got a site visit request from AC across the street, who has the parking spot that goes way into the right of way. And I thought she was going to demand that parking be there. So she was saying no parking there. Because it's going to cause problems with the street access. And moreover, going further in, creating a big retaining wall was not something she liked either. So I don't like that solution. I don't see a solution there. I also note that up above with the parking you're adding up there, the 2 cars plus parking in front, 2-car garage, actually alleviates parking in the neighborhood. So I can fully support, consistent with the Design Review Board's discretion, waiving that parking requirement. With respect to the project itself, it does present a lot of mass. However, it is compatible with the neighborhood. I pointed to you when I was there with you, the house 2 houses up, which is equally massive. And also there's a house further down Rembrandt. In fact, there's a lot of houses that are that large in the neighborhood. So while a lot of mass, it is neighborhood compatible. Next, it has no significant impact on neighbors, and that was from both a privacy standpoint and a view equity standpoint. So I've explained why I didn't see a privacy. Well, I haven't explained, but I saw no privacy given the location of the project or view equity impacts. And I think that explains why no neighbors complained about it. For these reasons, it meets guidelines. The coastal development permit, we can make all the findings for the house. It does, the project does not have an ADU. We walked the REP. It's basically path lighting, irrigation, some softscape, and a very minor amount of hardscape. All minor, can easily make the findings. So for all those reasons, I can approve the project as presented tonight. Emer, do you have any, I'm interested if you had any comments about the parking, or
Yeah,
you
yeah,
agree or
no.
disagree with me?
You know, I've gone back and forth with this a little bit. And if the fifth board member was here, I feel like you'd want to consider there being some kind of a widening of the road at the location within the REP. You know, I don't think that's up for debate here today, but I feel like the spot on the REP would go a long way for this site. I think it would definitely alleviate some congestion on that road. I actually had to turn around with my truck, and it was not easy, you know. So if the spot was there, I think that would have gone a long way, you know, just dealing from that direct experience from being there that one time. I do understand that their idea is they're going to take access from up above and they're going to utilize that. But you know, they're proposing a new pool. What's to say the pool equipment guy couldn't access it from below? You know, I think that's worth the consideration in the debate here tonight.
Before I turn to the other board members, let me ask you a question. So you think that it might be beneficial to go back and try to see if there is a feasible, you know, way, and then we can look at retaining walls? Because I was troubled by this, but I didn't see a way to do that that would work.
Yeah.
But you feel that there might be a way?
Yeah, initially, I well, you know, looking at it, when I heard that comment, I considered it, and then I saw the retaining wall that was about 12 feet higher than that right behind there. So I think it's, you know, doable. Obviously, they'll have to check with structural and verify the limits of it. But from a you know, layout standpoint, yeah, I understand it's probably not the best landscaping solution, but from a layout solution, I think there's the opportunity there, and then we should consider it for sure.
All right. Jess, what are your thoughts?
I have a similar viewpoint on the parking, but a parking spot could be there, but it would be for the homeowner, not for the public. So with that, I concur with the staff, Nancy Sierra, and then Nathan, I keep calling you Nathan, Daniel Latham. That street, when you drive on the street, there's no other opportunity for there to be public parking spot. So I can support the variance, and all the other criteria has been met. The pool equipment, it's vaulted, is not going to be a nuisance to the public. You're going to have 2 covered parking spaces and 2 off-street parking spaces, so that's significant. I loved your renderings, the use of stone and your materials. It's going to be definitely beautify that neighborhood, brighten it up a little. The use of the trellises, I think, gives it great articulation. It's neighborhood compatible. I'm ready to approve this project tonight.
MJ?
Yeah. It's tough because it's a tough area up there, right, with parking. It will be a private spot. And the landscaping really enhances your home. You know, it really makes the whole thing sing. So I was struggling because I really want parking up there, and you will too. But I don't think what we gain by getting that space for you and your potential social calendar will offset public, it's just not going to be enough to make it a public nuisance to make you go through all that and steal what you've created here. So I'm kind of backtracking on my original hope was that we could get something there. I'm having a little problem with getting any kind of an REP down. I think is it Rembrandt that's down, Van Dyke that's up? I can't remember. Yeah.
Remembrandt's
Yeah,
down.
yeah. That is needing an REP. That's what I'm kind of struggling with.
It's on the Rembrandt side along the road.
But it's on the road and it's taking up road, and the Rembrandt road is skinny too. It's like, why would we give up any of that road?
As I understand it, yeah, as I understand it, it's just the
I know.
pavers and the flat areas. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, as long as
It's only 1 foot.
not gonna,
Like 1 foot,
Yeah.
so.
Just did a small planter along the base of the wall to kind of soften the wall.
I mean, are we allowed?
Cars should-
I know, but I'd rather you move your wall back.
We could
No,
certainly
the
eliminate the
RE
REP down there.
The REP is
With-
just for this little stone.
The wall's
planter
on
thing.
his property.
Yeah, the wall is on his property. So the REP is just for this.
I know
Landscape.
what it is for.
Okay.
But here's my thinking, just what I would probably do if I was the homeowner. I'd say, I'd like to have a little bit of a breath before I have my wall. I don't want my wall right up on the street. So that's what I would do it for. I'd say, give me a little something. So
MG,
can we,
I think Louis Whale would agree with you too. I can't speak for him, but
yeah, he's really particular about REPs. I just feel like that is so tight. And I feel like if you moved your wall back a foot and then kept that cobblestone on your land, does that make sense?
I think it has to do with the slope of the hillside.
No.
Well,
No chance. It's 1
going
foot.
back to the REP, the only reason we had the REP was because of the parking stall. So we basically moved our wall back. We required 2 feet next to the parking space. So we have an 8-foot space and then 2 feet. So we had to have the cobble to get out of the car. So where there's not a space, I just use that as.
I'm talking
as
down
planting.
with your kind of Rembrandt. I'm talking.
Correct.
I'm
on the
having trouble
lower-
understanding so you're saying that because the wall's so close to the public right of way, you want the wall pushed back? a foot?
Yeah, and not encroach into the public area with your cobblestone. Just move your wall back a foot and then put your cobblestone, because he wants to have a breath before the wall, so he doesn't have the wall right up on property.
I get it. Yeah,
So
I,
why would you give him I mean, not you, it's
putting
everybody.
in flat and level cobblestones in a REP, we do all the time. And
Can I just clarify something?
We don't.
So the flagstone is directly adjacent to where the proposed parking space was going to be. And then on both sides of that, there's a planting area. And I think that planting area was intended to also kind of soften the retaining wall.
Uh-huh, sure.
But I see what you're saying as far as, but it's not just flagstone.
Yeah, up on the upper garage area, I don't have a problem with whatever you need for that to work. It's down below on Rembrandt that I don't want to provide the REP approval. So
Well-
you'd have to make an adjustment. That's the
Well-
only thing I'm saying, and I might be the only one, so.
let me just be clear, Daniel, what's in the right of way? Is it just those 1 foot flat cobblestones?
No, so there's a planting area and then flagstone paving for the pedestrian access, and then as well as continuation of the flagstone adjacent to the proposed public parking space. And then beyond that is another planting area.
So the walls themselves are not in the right of way?
No, the wall is right on the property line.
It's
Yeah, I just have to disagree with my esteemed colleague. I have the kind of things that is being asked for in the RUP here are easily removable, are stuff we grant all the time, and I just can't support requiring the wall be moved back a foot that's not in the public right of way, so that the cobblestones
let me-
cannot be in the right of
Let
way.
me, Chair, if I may.
Go ahead.
I respectfully disagree, and let me tell you why. This is a very narrow street. Every inch counts. They have plenty of room in their yard. They can keep their wall where it is if they want, if that's legal to do that. They just can't have anything on the public area
Oh, so
unless
you-
they need it. They can keep their wall. They just can't have their little cobblestone front. If they want to keep the cobblestone, they just have to move their wall back and make as much as they would.
Okay, I want to hear what the other board members say about that.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Oh, and then let me just continue. Beautiful house. Landscaping's lovely. It's in keeping with the neighborhood. It's a great asset to the neighborhood. It is not affecting anybody's view. It meets all the other design review criteria. The only issue I have is with that REP. And that's a precedent setting and just the reality is you have the space and you can give it up with very little pain. I don't think you'll even notice it.
Chair, could I offer an alternative?
Wait a second. Let me hear what the other
Both
board
you might
members
need
are.
to give that alternative. I disagree. I think the cobblestone, a car can safely run over that cobblestone and the low brush plants. So I approve I'm in favor of the REP.
Emir, your feeling?
I'd be open to hearing Steve's recommendation.
Yeah, okay, so and I wanted to hear their view. Now that I understand what MJ is talking about, I concur with her. I think that putting in planter or cobblestone does narrow the street unnecessarily. It's not really an essential feature. So as I see it, maybe you either pull the wall back if you want that softening, or you get rid of that feature. So Steve, I open the public hearing and you can
Yeah,
respond.
I just wanted to give some clarification on how this REP got created. The Public Works, when that street was put in, and the property line has a gap of a foot, right? We didn't create that gap. It's just like many streets in Laguna Beach, the asphalt does not meet the property line. So you request an REP to bridge the difference. So what I want to pose to the board, if every inch is essential, then we'll put asphalt in there and it'll be very unattractive to the wall. You get rid of the planter, you get rid of any aesthetic quality, and you gain very little because your bumper is going to be so close to that wall on the property line. So we'll gladly put in asphalt in that REP if we think that's going to look better. I sincerely doubt it.
No, good point. But the reality is I doubt you would do that. So knowing how they designed this house.
I'm torn. I'm inclined to go with MJ on this one. I like the solution of bringing asphalt in, even though it's not much additional land. That's so narrow there, and I think we all concur with that. So that's kind of where I'm at. What about you, Emir?
Yeah, I'm with you guys.
It's okay.
You know, looking through the attachment, public correspondence, attachment 8, they're showing there being an existing parking space. Is that a non-conforming space? Is that what's shown there on attachment 8?
That yellow
So that's a permitted space.
No, the red one, there's an arrow, it says location of current parking.
So, yeah, that was submitted by the neighbor, right? So that existing parking area is for accessing the garage, but can also be used as a parking space on that property.
And that space ended up getting relocated to the top, is that right?
Essentially, yes, because the garage is up there now, and then there's a 2-car wide driveway as well.
There's 2 cars and then there's a pull-in as well, so potentially 4 cars if needed. I think it's worth doing something on Rembrandt. I think there's definitely some value to having that area widened. Whether now or in the future, I think you can't go wrong with that. I understand Steve's consideration pertaining to the cobblestone. We get it. We understand it's a beautification thing, but ultimately, this is a road. This portion of road is a roadway, and it does function more so now than it did even 10 years ago with Amazon trucks coming down the road and concerns of access in the future. So why not? Let's bring that back as much as we can, and make it so that roadway has room to breathe, especially on that turn-in radius.
Okay, let me make a motion.
I have a quick question, one more thing I just want to clarify. So to your point, Steve, the need for the area that is city, that is going to need to be filled in, or is it already filled in? You guys were just going to change it over?
Well, at the board's pleasure, again, it's a 1-foot strip.
Yeah.
That was going to have plantings and some cobblestone and some stepping stones for an aesthetic reason. If the board believes that 1 foot is going to make a difference there, then we'll put in
No, what's
asphalt.
there now? Is it asphalt now or is it just dirt or it's a
Okay.
retaining wall?
Yeah, so we can put asphalt in.
Okay, great. I just didn't know whose responsibility it was, that's all. And just so you know, I don't want, I know it's a foot, because there's been other times where I've said a foot doesn't matter, it's like between two houses, like whatever, but this, you have room, and just so you know, I don't know if your pal who lives here knows, people are gonna hit that wall. So you might want to think about moving it. It happens in my neighborhood all the time, this guy. And so, anyway, just a little tidbit, but so a foot does matter when you're tight, two cars are going in between. Those are all my sound effects for
We'll be
tonight.
happy to
Thank
put asphalt there.
Okay. I concur with MJ, and I appreciate the deliberations. I didn't fully understand it, but I agree with it. Let me make a motion, see if we have a second, and see whether it gets approved. I move that the board adopt resolution 25-0614, approving design review 25-0614, coastal development permit 25-0615, and revocable encroachment permit 25-0616, and finding said action exempt from CEQA pursuant to 15303, with the condition that the space between the wall on Rembrandt and the existing pavement be filled with asphalt to match the pavement, which I understand is approximately 1 foot. Do I have a second to that?
I'll second it. It's like,
Roll call, please.
Board Member Belta,
Yes.
Board Member Covney,
yes.
Chair Pro Tem Gannon,
Yes.
Chair Gibbs.
Yes. Thank you very much. You're going to have a nice, it's a lovely design. You're going to enjoy that house.
Welcome to Laguna.
Okay, last but not least. Okay, this is. Okay, quiet, please. Outside, if you could. Thank you very much. This is 5.1, 5.12 or 5.12. 1640 Hillcrest Drive, design review 25-0619, revocable encroachment permit 25-0934. Ex parte, please.
Chair, I had a site visit, solo site visit.
And I spoke to Mr. McGraw and went by the site.
Chair, I had a site visit as well. Wasn't able to connect with Mr. McGraw.
And I had a site visit with Mr. McGraw at the site. All right, are you doing it?
This is
Bill,
my-
you
this
know,
is
you've
my
got
presentation this
some
evening.
you've
Yeah,
got some
this is
great
my item.
performances that you've got to match here, you know.
I will
All right.
I will do my best. Thank you, Chair Gibbs, and good evening, board members. I'm Bill Rodriguez, Planning Manager for the Community Development Department. As you indicated, the item tonight is for an addition and remodel to an existing detached single-family residence at 1640 Hillcrest Drive. Subject property is located north or inland side of North Coast Highway between LaDroit and Louise Streets, shown here on the left-hand side, outlined or highlighted in yellow. The property is in the R1 zoning district, and you can see in the lower right-hand corner just kind of an existing street view image of the house. It is kind of one story at the street level. The front yard is elevated a couple feet with a small retaining wall proximate to the right of way. And then I believe the property drops down just slightly as you progress towards the back. The application itself is seeking design review approval to do an addition and remodel to the detached home. The additions are shown in green, and the area in blue is a conversion of space currently non-habitable into habitable space. There is a relocation of the existing driveway access and a widening of that driveway where it meets the street. There is a request for additional building site coverage by about 2.5% to 3%. Some elevated decks, and then grading to lower the driveway, which will be shown a little more clearly on the next slide. In addition, there is a revocable encroachment permit request for landscaping, small retaining walls, and walkways and other private improvements within a portion of that right of way. So here's a comparison of the finished residential development, comparing it to the existing house facade. I've tried to color coordinate the arrows so you can see that the areas that are being changed. Obviously, the house was built back in the mid-1950s. It's been around for about 70 years. The time to refresh the structure, so the applicant is going to a board and batten type siding, kind of a very cottage style, kind of a modern farmhouse look overall. There will be changes to the roof pitch. On the left-hand side of the image, we will go from kind of a turned gable roof to a hip roof and then a shallower gable roof over the entryway. The biggest improvement that you'll see on the front elevation is the addition of the garage, which gets relocated from the rear of the property up to the front and will be dug out underneath that left-hand portion of the structure. That digging out constitutes the significant amount of grading that is happening on the property and also justifies the relocation and widening of the driveway. In conclusion, staff finds that the proposed improvements are compliant with the design review guidelines, that it meets the development standards of the Laguna Beach Municipal Code, and that it is compatible with other homes in the neighborhood. Project also does not substantially impair views, privacy, or increase the mass and bulk, though admittedly the height of the roof will change by, I believe, a couple of feet at most, but again, not to the extent that we believe it's going to impact any existing views from adjoining properties. So with that, staff is recommending that the board conduct a public hearing and adopt Resolution 250619, finding the action exempt from CEQA and approving the design review and revocable encroachment permit requests. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions if you do. The applicant is also present, has their own presentation to share.
Thank you very much, Bill. Appreciate the presentations. Any questions of Bill? All right, with that, I open the public hearing. And applicant, you have 5 minutes.
Let me turn that up. Good evening, Bob McGraw, architect for this project tonight. I'm sitting with Pam McCurry, who's the new owner of that property. Bill covered everything. I had a oh, there it is. But you'll notice that if you go to page, I'll go through it anyway. Page 1 is our existing survey and also the existing footprint of the house. It hasn't changed at all since 1953, other than basic maintenance. Page 2, the next one, is the existing floor plan. And you've been out there, so you know the two-car garage in the back is really problematic because it's really dysfunctional. I mean, you could get one car in there, but if you put another car in there, they can't get out. So basically, Pam wanted to get a reasonable, parking situation. So this is our proposed site plan, a simplified site plan. The green, again, as Bill stated, is the conversion of existing garage space to what we're going to do as a master bedroom suite. And then the blue is actually new square footage, new construction. In front, it's for the kitchen and dining. And in the middle there, the blue area is for a hallway and also a little office. Pam works at home. Next page is the floor plan for the garage. It's a little over 600 square feet, and we have access from the garage up to the house itself. Next page, please. This is our new proposed floor plan. You can see the kitchen and dining in the front, and then in the back is the new master bedroom suite. And basically, the rest of the house remains the same with some changes in the wall configuration. And these are our very simple, but I think kind of elegant elevations. We've kept it real simple, white, wood garage door, wood Dutch front door, and a probably El Presidente roof, so we get a little bit more profile to the tiles. We had a good neighborhood meeting. A lot of people showed up. 2 people from above, actually 334 and 326 LaDroit, had a problem. Initially, if you look at this elevation, to the right side we took the rake or the roof all the way out to the extent, but when you looked at it from both of these houses up on LaDroit, it was right in the middle of a whitewater view. So we hipped it. And then I went back up again, and we were still a little too much into that whitewater view. It was a small whitewater view, but fairly important because they don't have a lot of views above this. So we lowered the plate line a foot. And I don't remember their names. I didn't ask them to send a support letter. Next time I will, probably. And so they were very happy. The revocable encroachment is for existing material or improvements that are already there. It doesn't, we do have a on-street parking, a public parking space because we are a major remodel, but it's flat in front, so we don't require any revocable encroachment permit for that particular item. So we've just taken care to address the neighborhood and stay away from ADUs and, sorry. That's a very volatile neighborhood right now because of an ADU project. That was the question I got from a couple of neighbors right off the bat. Are you doing an ADU? No. Okay, well, I'm fine. Goodbye. And we've tried to make this work for both Pam and the neighborhood. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you very much. Open to members of the public. You have 3 minutes. Since no one's there, I return it to you for a 3-minute rebuttal.
I'm fine. Thank you.
All right. Any questions of
I
applicant?
just had a quick question on the entrance, the walkway from the street. I can't quite make out, like, is that, I mean, you'll still be able to park there and you'll be able to park, you have the space here, then you have the walkway, then you have grass, then you have your driveway.
Can you pull up that site plan again? I think it was page 2.
It just slopes
Oh,
down.
get rid of that picture, please.
I can't quite tell what it's doing.
Well, basically, there's an existing stair, it's brick.
Yep.
We want to keep that, but that's within the property line. What's happened is originally there's a retaining wall there that the property line as it's shown, and we do have a boundary survey done, kind of goes in and out of it. So basically it needs to, in order to remain there, it needs a revocable encroachment permit. Then there's a pathway from the stair that goes to the paved area, which can remain. So that's also part of it. And then the public parking place is to the south of that pathway. And it's a 20-foot by 8-foot deep parallel parking space.
Okay. But does your walkway protrude out from where that space is? So your slope, is the space here and your stairs are here? What I'm getting at, are they going to know it's public or is it going to feel like it's your own personal space?
The parking space?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we won't touch the walkway. So the parking is beyond the walkway.
And so it's, okay,
And,
but it
yeah,
ends.
it'll have to,
Just
it'll
can't
have
tell
to
from this
receive
drawing.
pavement, and usually they want AC for the parking spaces. A pavement, what do you call it, blacktop? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was
Call
like
it
AC.
And
Okay.
technically it's AC.
Chair Gibbs, I mean, maybe for the benefit of Board Member Coveney, if you look on the plans on page SP1, it's the site plan, it might be a little more clear what Mr. McGraw is trying to explain.
I was at it.
It's the site plan sheet, it's SP1,
Okay.
which I believe is,
What I've got, yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
looking.
I'm at ST1 right now.
It shows it.
So that curve there that says 140.20, what is that? What is that? What is all that?
Which, I'm sorry.
Yard? Is this all yard here? I can't, this is where I suffer with.
I'm sorry.
It's on the
Member
page-
Coveney.
She's on the page before that, before
The
SP1.
right of way goes way in. I mean, it's one of those right of ways that goes way in. So he's keeping his steps.
They are.
As they are, because the retaining wall may be in part
slightly
of
in
the
the
REP or in the right of way. It needs to be subject to the REP. So that's,
Yeah.
I walked it with,
So what's
with
here?
Bob, and it
What's here? Yard.
Yeah, there's literally 8 feet from the property line to the beginning of the pavement
Yeah.
exists now.
That one stair. Okay, I saw this extending. So
It's
that's,
it's really, it's appropriate for an REP, and it's not going to impact the drive or the street at all. It's a wide street to begin with. It's it's the typical of North Laguna, where you have incredibly wide right of ways on already
but
big
no
streets.
indication that it's not a public space.
No, he's not. It will be.
Right.
People will know.
Every parking space that's in front of a house has that impression, all over Laguna Beach.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking now's our chance to fix some of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other questions?
That's it. Thank you.
All right. With that, I close the public hearing, and who would like to begin?
I'll
MJ?
begin. No, no, this is lovely and it's a wonderful upgrade to this house. You did a great job and it's all the little touch points are great. Thank you for working to drop that roof. And I see why you made that choice to add that dimension there. So I wouldn't want to have lost that to the traditional roof that's on the other part of the house. So you did a great job with your roof design. And I think it meets all design review criteria, no view impact, no privacy concerns. It's in keeping with the neighborhood and design integrity. So I can support the project.
Jess?
Yes, I can support what Board Member Coveney had to say. One thing I would like to touch on in case anyone takes this as a review, because we've had things come back to bite us in the arse in the past. Your building site coverage, it's non-conforming. It's increasing. I can approve this project with that 3% increase. It doesn't expand the building footprint. It's just you're taking space in the back and closing that in. So everything is site specific. And with that, I can approve this project. And by the way, I'm a sucker for a Dutch door. Thank you for going with a Dutch door. And yeah, view equity, you did great with view equity, keeping that in mind and making alterations. So I thank you. It's a modest project. You could have gone a second story or proposed a second story. So the neighbors have to be happy with that. Yeah, I bet. I bet.
Or a dozen neighbors have knocked on my doors. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Emer?
I concur with the fellow board members. I can approve this project tonight.
Yeah, I live in North Laguna, and neighbors are constantly in fear of second stories. And on my street, Astor, they put in, I think we're on our third home with no second story. Third major remodel, one new construction. And it's a real plus for the neighborhood, so I thank you. With respect to the project, I was concerned about excavating and basically making somewhat of a subterranean garage, but it is neighborhood compatible. You have two houses down the street that have the exact same condition. I think it is, for that reason, it's neighborhood compatible. It's got design integrity. I also really appreciate the fact, and it was your project, but it was all the projects. We noticed this is probably the only night since I've been on design review for over 2 years where we've gone through a whole meeting without one neighbor objecting. That's the goal. Our goal here is to approve projects. And when the designer can deal with problems before it gets to us, we all win and the community wins. So thank you, Bob, for what you did. My thought on building site coverage, if it's a percentage point or two, but it's important to the design integrity, I don't have a problem with it. When it starts getting more than a couple of percentage points, then we're worried about mansionization. That is not a problem with this project. REP, I walked it. It totally fits the REP requirements. We can make all the findings. And for that, I think we've got an approved project. Let's see if we've got a motion.
Well, I'll make a motion, but before I do, I want to thank Bill Rodriguez for that bang up of a report and well executed. Thank you. I would like to propose, let's see, what am I going to say? Approval for item 5.12, design review 250619 and revocable encroachment permit 250934 for a motion to adopt this resolution, including the building site coverage and construction, addition, or remodel, and everything else noted in the staff report.
And finding that CEQA.
Oh, and exempt from CEQA under section 15301.
I'll second that. Do we have roll call, please?
Board Member Belta,
Yes.
Board Member Coveney,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Gannon,
Yes.
Chair Gibbs.
Yes. Congratulations. Great project.
Thank you, board. And I'd like to thank Bill too, because he got this project and did a great review at the 12th hour, literally. Thank you.
Well done. Thanks, everybody. Our meeting is adjourned until when's the next meeting, Bill?
July 24th at 5 PM right here.
Okay, our meeting's adjourned till July 24, 5 PM.